It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News, which is live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. It's also live on all our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, we're on Adrempa 100.7 FM in Takwa and Beach 105.5 FM in Takrady. In the Bunu region, we're on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, we're on Adrempa 99.9 FM in Inkarie. Volta region on Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohoi and Freedom 88.1 FM in Sogakope. In the Northern region, we're on Radio Gaki 88.3 FM in Saboba. In the Upper East region, we are on Quality 88.7 FM in Garu. Upper West region, we're on Ganga 94.3 FM in Jirapa. And Northeast, Nobia FM in 98.1 FM in Narulugu. The news is also live across the globe on citinewsroom.com. My name is Wilma Ubuobi-Sakoman, and this afternoon I'm here with
Charles Ozukumi.
Coming up, government preaches calm to investor community as it assures there will be no haircuts on principals as a result of negotiations with the International Monetary Fund for a bailout.
My understanding is that no principals will be touched. The debt sustainability strategy is yet to be announced in full. Therefore, what will the form of the restructuring take? I think we should give them time.
Also coming up, Minority describes as empty government's measures for economic recovery while alleging that President Koforidua has lost control of the situation.
The Bank of Ghana has failed dramatically on all trade fronts. The Bank of Ghana has colluded with the Minister for Finance to derail our own economy and to compromise our future.
Still ahead, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin expresses worry over delay in work of committee probing revocation of licenses of financial institutions by the Bank of Ghana in 2017.
We referred the petitions to the appropriate committee. Unfortunately, the response from the committee is not encouraging. I have on many occasions drawn their attention, but we've not received any report from the committee.
And later, residents of Nyamikrom, a suburb of Koforidua in the eastern region, block roads in protest of poor road infrastructure. Stay tuned as we bring you details of all that and more on Citi Prime News.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
We are grateful for your time this afternoon. We'll settle for the details now into our first story. Government has reiterated its position that bond investors would not lose out on their principal payments as a result of negotiations with the International Monetary Fund for a $3 billion bailout. This follows President Akufo-Addo's earlier assurance on Sunday that there won't be haircuts on investments made by investors. Speaking on the Citi Breakfast Show, Minister of Information Kojo Opon-Nkrumah noted that full details of the debt restructuring process will be outlined in the coming days.
It has not been helpful that people have chosen to do this sort of speculation that has also panicked the market. We've seen incidents of people going to the banking hall just to seek to cash out of their treasury bills and go and buy forex as a store of value because somebody is pumping into the market information that there are going to be haircuts. My understanding is that no principals will be touched. The debt sustainability strategy is yet to be announced in full. Therefore, what will the form of the restructuring take? I think we should give them time to come out and announce the full details of the debt sustainability strategy. When they are done with the rest of the strategy and then they come out and do a full announcement, we will have clarity on the form that the debt restructuring will take.
That was Minister of Information Kojo Opon-Nkrumah.
In some other news, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has expressed worry about the delay in the work of an ad hoc committee set up to probe the revocation of licenses of financial institutions by the Bank of Ghana in 2017. The Speaker, in March 2021, referred a petition from two businessmen, Prince Afi Amuabing and Dr. Kwabena Dufour, to a 7-member committee to investigate circumstances leading to the collapse of the banks. However, the committee is yet to report to Parliament on its findings. Here is the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, urging the committee to do the needful.
It's the focus of every country to make sure that they are in control of the banking sector. And so if we had Ghanaians who had banks and they were having challenges, it's incumbent on us to support them to succeed for us to continue to be in control of the banking sector. I think our colleagues in government erred in not seeing it that way, and rather made sure that the Ghanaians who were trying to enter into the sector lost out. And instead of using, let's say, about 5 billion to support the bank to survive, we ended up using about 25 billion, but we will not be able to sanitize the sector. What has rather happened, if they bring the books now, you see that many of the supposed surviving banks have collapsed. Okay, so there's still a lot of work to be done. And I think that is what ignited the petitions. We referred the petitions to the appropriate committee. Unfortunately, the response from the committee is not encouraging. I have on many occasions drawn their attention, but we've not received any report from the committee. So we are still following up. They said they have a few challenges, but the rules are very clear. The standing orders are clear on that when a matter is referred to you and you are unable to report within a period, at least you have to send a report to give the House the basis, the reasons why you are unable to report on time. That one too, they have defaulted.
He also raised concerns about the withdrawal of his military protection by the government.
But the others are entitled. And if you go to His Excellency's office, you may count get to about 200 military. The Vice President definitely has access to some. I, following, am not entitled. But the Chief Justice after me has 4. Ministers have their own. And each Supreme Court judge has 2.
Easy chair.
Oh, that is a battalion. So, and so, my friends, the Minister for National Security is entitled to a yes. And my brothers in the Defense and Interior, they both have. And the Attorney General, Minister for Justice, has his own. The same with the Minister for Finance. But the Speaker is not entitled. This is Ghana's unique democracy. But don't worry, I'm very, very secure.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin.
Meanwhile, the economist Dr. Patrick Assuming has commended government for taking the step to address some of the concerns of the citizenry. Dr. Assuming believes additional information on how government was going to bring the country's debt to sustainable levels should also have been revealed.
First of all, it was important that the president spoke and addressed the nation on the economy. As to the content, well, first of all, he tried to cover a wide range of issues, the important issues that matter for the economy. There were not an awful lot of new specific programs or proposals. It was good to hear him comment on the issue about the haircut because those speculations have been going on for a long time. I actually think that the government should have responded a long time ago. But nevertheless, it was important that the president gave the assurance that there will be no haircuts. But what remains is that if there are no haircuts, the president should have provided a little bit more information about how we are going to sustain or bring our debt to sustainable levels if there are no haircuts, or whether there will be no debt restructuring. I think there should have been some additional information about exactly what will happen. As for the other programs, the president simply reiterated what he believes in terms of commitment to the free SHS and the programs that his government has been doing for the past 6 years or so.
Dr. Patrick Assuming is an economist. Now, Ghana Union of Traders Association say they received the address from the president with mixed reactions. Vice Chair of GUTA, Clement Boateng, has been speaking to Citi News.
I would say yes and no. Yes, in some aspect. One, if you look at how the president talked about haircut on investment, because there were some rumors that there was a WhatsApp message regarding haircut on investment, and so people were doing panic withdrawal in CDs and trying as much as possible to change them into dollars, and that also contributed to the further depreciation of the CD. And if you listen to the president, he really gave us an assurance that there was nothing like that, and that people's investments are intact, and that there was not going to be any haircut on investment. So that aspect, was a positive statement from the president. When it comes to the where Guta, we have problems there, has to do with one. There was no mention of the pegging of the dollar that they have told us that they were going to do it, because as far back as 3 weeks ago, we were talking to government on that issue, because 3 weeks ago, the rate of the dollar to the cedi at the ports was 9 cedis, 60 pesos. And then 2 weeks later, it was increased to 10 cedis, 60 pesos. And then just last week, it was increased to 12 cedis, 72 pesos. So we have been complaining that government should try as much as possible, to peg this dollar at least quarterly. And he assured us that from about 3 weeks ago to the end of this year, he were going to do that for us. So anytime we approach government on this issue, he told us that we should wait for the president to make yesterday's statement. So we were expecting that in the president's statement yesterday, it was going to be mentioned, but the president never touched on it. On that aspect, we are very much disappointed in that.
Clement Boateng, Vice Chair for the Ghana Union of Traders Association.
Now, the deputy ranking member on Parliament's Finance Committee, Isaac Adongo, has described as empty President Koforidua announced measures for economic recovery, while alleging that the president has lost control of the situation. The president, in an address to the nation on measures to fix the economic crisis, mentioned salary cuts of the executive, a clampdown on illegal forex traders, and efforts to get cheaper petroleum products for domestic consumption as government's magic wand. The deputy ranking member tells Citi News that government has missed the point.
The key issues have to do with the failure of the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana is entrusted with the responsibility for price stability, and these are inflation, interest rate, and the exchange rate. The Bank of Ghana has failed dramatically on all trade fronts, and I am surprised people talk about just the sacking of Koforidua without talking about the sacking of Dr. Addison, because the Bank of Ghana has colluded with the Minister for Finance to derail our own economy and to compromise future. The Bank of Ghana has a responsibility to maintain what we call the inflationary targeting framework, which is built around making sure that the government does not unnecessarily borrow from the Bank of Ghana to finance the budget. And the law makes it quite clear that at any point in time, the cumulative lending of the central bank to the government should not be more than 5% of the total revenue of the previous year. But last year, end of 2021, the Bank of Ghana had lent to government 35 billion Ghana cedis. And by May this year, it had lent a further 22 billion. As we speak now, we are heading towards a cumulative figure of about 70 billion. It then put a lot of money that does not belong to the economy into the economy. And what you then see is that those monies that the Bank of Ghana has thrown into the economy are the monies that are chasing the dollar everywhere. And once there's so much city chasing the dollar has to run fast in order to save itself. And that is where we are now. So the central bank itself is complicit in creating the mess that we are in by throwing the dogs into the system to chase the dollar.
The Bogota Central Legislature also described as an exercise in futility the clampdown on legal forex traders.
If you decide to clamp down on the black market, you must have the dollars in the formal market, okay? So when I go to the bank and I need dollars to pay for my LC that have matured, and you are not able to give me the dollars, and I'm going to default on my LC, I will go to the black market to go and buy the dollars in order that I afloat. Now, subsequently, what I will do is that I won't put myself in that situation again. So anytime I sell, I convert my sales to dollars. Anytime I sell, I convert my sales to dollars. That puts further pressure on the city. So what we are now seeing is that the Bank of Ghana has the exchange rate, but Abochi has the dollars. And it is Abochi's rate that is relevant, because the Bank of Ghana's rate, it doesn't have the dollar to sell to anybody at the Bank of Ghana rate. But Abochi is roaming on the street with the dollar, and he says you take 20 cedis for $1. So you can have your exchange rate, but Abochi will have his dollars. And once Abochi has the dollars, it is Abochi's exchange rate that is consequential. The Bank of Ghana rate becomes inconsequential because you can't get the money. And that is where we have arrived at. Now you are chasing Abochi everywhere. You have arrested Abochi thinking that Abochi's dollars are in his pocket. But Abochi's dollars are not in his pocket.
Isaac Adongo is P for Bogota Central and the deputy ranking member on Parliament's Finance Committee.
Now we go to the Ashanti region, where a planned closure of shops by members of 8 trader groups has been put on hold, as the leadership of groups says the city, I beg your pardon, is beginning to pick up against other currencies. The traders suspended imports for a week to protest the continuous depreciation of the city against the dollar and the CFA. The traders who import and sell clothes and wares say the unstable nature of the exchange rate is collapsing their businesses and also dwindling their capital. The deputy secretary of the Kumasi Importers and Traders Association, Nanaya Owusu-Ajiman, tells Citi News they will still monitor the performance of the city against the dollar and CFA to decide their next line of action.
We make a public announcement that we are going to close our shops if the depreciation of the city doesn't appreciate. And from our point of view and from our investigation, we have learned that the city is rising by the grace of God due to our sit-down strike. So actually, we should have closed our shop today. But based on the appreciation of the city, we decided that we are not going to close it. But we are praying that we said we are taking a 2-week sit-down. So we are continuing with our 2-week sit-down so that by the end of this week, we will see either the city appreciate very well or there will be another decrease of the city to the CFA and dollar ratio. So we are all folding our hands, praying that by the close of this week, the city will appreciate and right itself against our foreign currencies and the currencies that we use to portray or apply our businesses. So this week, we are continuing with our sit-down, but we are not closing it because the city is rising. So I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel, so we are continuing with it, but we are not sitting down. We are not closing it.
You heard the Deputy Secretary of the Kumasi Importers and Traders Association, Nanaya Owusu-Ajiman. From the Ashanti region, we go to the Eastern region, precisely Koforidua. Hundreds of residents and commuters who ply the Nyamikrom, Kojo Tintin, Obo Tumpain, Ampedre, Dadimanche, Koko Junction, and Supreso roads to where this morning were left stranded after a group calling itself Concerned Citizens of Nyamikrom blocked sections of the road to protest the deplorable nature of the stretch. The concerned residents were clad in red and black apparels, wielding placards with inscriptions such as "Fix Nyamikrom Roads Now" and "We Deserve Better," among others. The group blocked 2 sections of the road on the newly commissioned Nyamikrom Bridge, forcing passengers to travel the rest of the journey on foot. We go over the lines.
We are meant to understand that this road has been given to Cocoa Board and is categorized as Cocoa Road for construction.
Good afternoon, Kanako. If you can hear me, what can you report?
Thank you very much. This morning, as early as around 5 a.m., some residents calling themselves Concerned Citizens of Nyamikrom took to the street to block sections of the street. Now, Nyamikrom has been in the news.
We are meant to understand that this road has been given to Cocoa Board and is categorized as Cocoa Road for construction.
Around last year, the same time,
but it seems that all the above are becoming a 9-day wonder.
In the area unmotorable, a bridge also collapsed, and in the process, a lot of people were left stranded in that process. Now, the MP for the area tried and lobbied to get the bridge fixed. And just in August this year, I was in the presence and the company of the MP when he commissioned the bridge, and also gave an assurance that he would also lobby and for the contractor to come back to site. But this morning, we woke up to the news that that section of the road has been blocked to traffic, and then quickly I rushed there. And what I saw was a number of people, hundreds of people, clad in red and black, with placards demonstrating. It was initially set to be a press conference that is on that particular road, but they ended up blocking the road, which also prevented a number of people from getting access to the regional capital, Koforidua. Now, their demands were that a lot of pregnant women were having miscarriages on that particular section, and they need the road to be fixed. This blockade happened somewhere around the 5 a.m., so people who were even traveling outside Koforidua to their various stations in the regions were caught up in this particular blockade. Now, school buses were grounded in the process, so students who were also going to school in the morning had to trek to their various schools. They are indicating that this is going to be the first step, and they are going to stage series of protests until the roads are fixed. Now, the interesting part is the section of the bridge where the MP commissioned it in August, that is August 29th. Majority of that portion has been eroded, rendering the place unmotorable. The residents are really aggrieved by this, indicating that the contractor supervised or constructed a poor work, and they are calling on government and the other stakeholders, relevant stakeholders involved, to ensure that the road, Nyamikrum Road, is fixed. Now, interestingly, just last week when the president was visiting the Pentecost Senior High School to commission a project there, we saw contractors trying to fix portions of the main stretch, that is from the Senate traffic light to the Pentecost curve. And residents are really worried by this because they thought that the contractor was going to continue to get the other portions of the road fixed. But as soon as the president ended his 3-day tour of the region, that contractor also vanished from sight. So residents of Nyamikrum, Obo Tumpan, Kojutintin, Supriso are really worried about the devastating nature of roads in that community and are calling on government and other relevant stakeholders to quickly come on board and rectify the solutions there.
Now, have you been able to speak with any assembly member, and what have they been saying?
So the assemblyman for the area, Honorable Enoch Buahin, is also aggrieved by the situation. He told me personally that his life is being threatened on a daily basis because Nyamikrum happens to be the food hub, the food basket of the Koforidua area. Now, a lot of people have their farms. A lot of new sites have also been developed in that area. So a number of people are living in that enclave. This has become a major concern because anytime the road gets blocked, it happens to be that the assemblyman is always at the frontage taking the blame for it. He's indicated that his life is being threatened on a daily basis, and he's calling on residents to also plead with him so that they get enough time for the relevant stakeholders to fix that road. It's been a major concern. He's been in my DM all the time, telling me to come to his aid and help him with reports. But currently, as we speak, the situation is getting out of hand, and he's also running out of ideas. That is what is happening currently with the assemblyman for the area, Honorable Enoch Buahin.
Well, we Kanaku, please hold on. We have the voice of the leader who was petitioning, who read the petition, and we want to listen to what he has been saying.
We are meant to understand that this road has been given to Cocoa Board and is categorized as Cocoa Road for construction. But it seems that all the above are becoming a 9-day wonder. Our grievances, due to the deplorable nature of our road, most of our pregnant women lose their lives and unborn children. The road has caused so many miscarriages and stillbirth due to its deplorable nature. Nyamikrum is the agriculture hub for Koforidua, but due to the nature of our roads, we are not able to transport foodstuffs, causing farm produce to get waste. The main occupation of our youth and fathers of Nyamikrum is driving, but most of our drivers are losing their jobs. Thus, their source of livelihood due to rampant purchasing and changing of spare parts. Drivers who have chosen to commute passengers, despite the deplorable nature of the road, charge huge amount of money. The bridge that was constructed recently became inaccessible in less than a week after construction. This has been the case mainly because the filling of its size was not properly done. Getting to 2 months now, authorities are aware of it, of the situation, but nothing has been done about it. It is now serving as a death trap to us. We, the concerned citizens of Nyamikrum, want immediate construction of our main road and our inner community roads. No more grading or shaping of the road. Rather, we want the road to be tarred with asphalt.
Desmond Ameao is the youth leader who has been reading a petition which has been.
We are meant to understand that this road has been given to
enumerating the plight of the residents. We also have the voice of the assembly member, Enoch Boahin. We'll listen to him now.
It's true that the MP was here to commission the bridge. That was after we had a problem, exactly a year today that we encountered that problem. Honestly, he did well to lobby for us
to understand that
do
this road has been given to Cocoa Board,
it's rather
and it's
unfortunate
categorized as
when they
Cocoa
were
Road
doing
for
the
construction.
but
it seems that all the above are becoming a 9-day wonder.
The erosion has washed
our grievances
the material
due to the probable nature of our road.
And
most
has
of our
washed everything, and I can see it is serving as a death trap over there. I'm a bit worried. Why? Because I think being a leader, I am doing my possible best. The authorities are aware of this situation, and honestly, they've not slept on that. They are really working on that. I applaud our MP, Honorable Michael Chibefi, as well as our MC, and they are also pushing. And I'm appealing to the government as well as our authorities to do their possible best. Since I am with them over here, honestly, I've been speaking with them, and when I speak to them, normally the rate at which they just try to harm me, it seems my life is in danger. So I'm appealing to the government to, as a matter of urgency, to do something about it, to talk to the contractor to come on site so that this road can be fixed.
That was the assemblyman for Nyamikrom electoral area, Enoch Boahin. Now, our Eastern Regional correspondent is still on the line. Kanako, could you describe to us what the security level is at this protest?
So, as I indicated earlier, I had a notice that it was going to be a press conference, but we got to the site and realized that the blocked sections of the road and passengers were really stranded in the morning. It took the timely intervention from personnel from the Eastern Regional Command who had the hint that that was going on. So they came to the scene. They began some engagement with the leaders of the press conference. So they came into a conclusion that they need to free the road. So they took out the blockade. So the policemen themselves had to carry up the tires and then stones and then the locks which had been used to block sections of the road to allow a free flow of traffic. So they told them that if they want to organize a demonstration, they need to seek proper procedure that is right to the regional command for support, and then the support will assist them with the personnel to guide them in the protest. So even though the passengers were some stranded passengers were in support, they also had to assist the police in carrying up this particular exercise, which led to the free flow of traffic to allow commuters who were using that stretch to get access to the Eastern Regional Capital, Koforidua. Now, they've indicated that they are going to stage a series of protests until roads in Nyamikrom are fixed.
Thank you very much for that update. That was our Eastern Regional correspondent, Nilni Amati Kanaku, giving us an update on a protest that is ongoing at the Nyamikrom Kojo Tintin Road in Koforidua. In the studios, I am Wilma Obobi Sakoman with Charles Owusu Kumi. Still ahead in the bulletin, Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors cautions Ghanaians to limit their expectations on how low prices of petroleum products can go following President Koforidua address. Do stay with us. We'll bring you details shortly.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors has cautioned Ghanaians to limit the expectations on how low prices of petroleum products can go following President Koforidua address. The president, in his address, indicated that efforts are underway to ensure reliable and cheaper supply of fuel. But the chamber believes most of the determinants of the prices are not in the hands of government. In an interview with Citi News, the CEO of the chamber, Dr. Patrick Ofori, urged government to consider addressing local factors such as the depreciating cedi.
Debt still sits in GMPC's books. So we need to balance and be realistic in terms of our expectations about how low petroleum price can go. And so sometimes you wonder when we're making politics of petroleum prices use. Sometimes these are commodities that we actually don't control. Of the international prices, we can't control that, but what maybe we have a bit of control over is how well you're able to manage your currency, since the exchange rate is a key component in what goes into the pricing that you get at the pumps.
So this brings me into the question on how possible this may help to alleviate the suffering of Ghanaians, at least for the prices of fuel at the pumps, beyond government's efforts at making sure that the fuel is got at cheaper prices. What other things do you think are needed to make sure that the aim of making fuel less costly is achieved?
Whatever it takes, you need to pay for something. You can't just get the commodity at that rate that we're talking about. Another possible thing is maybe the government can also decide that for this time period, we are guarantee whoever is involved in bringing these products in a fixed forest rate till the end of the year, that you know that no matter how the exchange rate dances in the market, you've locked in or you've hedged the pricing, and you've also hedged against the forest rate that you know that this can culminate into that.
CEO of the Chamber, Dr. Patrick Koforidua, in an interview with my colleague Hansen Ajiman.
Now, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, has predicted a 10% increase in prices of liquefied petroleum gas LPG, with petrol and diesel likely to see an increase between 3 Ghana cedis and 8 Ghana cedis effective tomorrow. COPEC says this has been as a result of the international price movements of the petroleum products. Currently, some oil marketing companies are selling petrol at 17 cedis, while diesel sells at 19 cedis. In an interaction with Citi News, the executive director of COPEC, Duncan Amoah, says there is a likelihood to be a further increase effective Tuesday.
The FOB is quite high as we speak, and so that has gone up. Together with the FX, you are looking at LPG doing almost 10% extra on current prices, and that is due largely to international price movement for the product, and then again the FX for imports. Now on petrol and diesel, international variation will point to between 3 and 8 Ghana cedis extra on current pump prices effective tomorrow. Whilst diesel probably could record the highest jump, petrol could do between 2 and 4 Ghana cedis extra on prevailing pump prices as you have it currently. Very likely that prices are sure to go beyond 20 cedis effective tomorrow. If you do the numbers for what the importation figures look like currently, diesel is looking at something between 3 to 8 Ghana cedis every liter, whilst petrol is doing between 2 to 4 Ghana cedis extra on every liter, and this is effective tomorrow.
Executive Director of COPEC, Duncan Amoah.
We'll stay a little while longer on the price of fuel, because some farmers at Bimbilla in the northern region are lamenting the high cost of operations occasioned by the recent increases in price of fuel. Currently, the cost of ploughing 1 acre of farmland has increased from 7 cedis to 200 cedis. There's more in the following report by our northern regional correspondent, Mohammed Aminu Alabira.
Farming is the main business of many in this part of the country, but fuel price increases, especially this year, has impacted negatively on the activities of farmers in this part of the country. This is because farmers depend on the hiring of tractors to plow their land for farming. Farmers in Nanumba North, here in Bimbilla, say this year the cost of hiring tractors has increased because of the price of diesel at the pumps. Early this year, the cost of plowing an acre of land was between 70 and 100 cedis. Due to the hikes in diesel prices, the cost of plowing an acre is now 200 cedis. This, the farmers say, is very difficult for them and are calling on the government to come to their aid. Some of the farmers have been speaking to Citi News.
So the machata kola bayilasha. Benjiro makatelera. Akaladi and Dabenjiro. Come come.
Raisin yam moons have gone up due to the hike in fuel prices. I came all the way from Dagwan, and the transport fare from Tamale to Bimbela is 100 cedis. The government must do something about it, else we are going to have a much tougher days ahead.
Kanma, Akaladi and Dabenjiro. Sheka no alaka. I've no alaka appreciate. I'm a sobshimuna. I'm no alaka.
Yelma to Quema and Chenshama. The Biam got a Pamzan Chanto Quema. So I shall come when shall come Kulparan.
We are afraid we may not be able to harvest the expected yield from our farms. The cost of farming has gone up, and it is now unbearable for us. Tractor operators have increased the cost of plowing farms from 100 to 200 cedis, and even now, they are still thinking of increasing it. We are appealing to the government to come to the aid of farmers by reducing the fuel prices for us.
Rata bokora milon de bayi to kalanse ne ben para milon de bayi na paragale to so ay kun malla sabo ben ko ben papa ben yarama shamma.
Some tractor operators have also been speaking to Citi News on the cost of maintaining their machines.
Unfortunately, this year, from June onwards, diesel is now costing more than petrol. For now, as we speak, a liter of diesel is 2 cedis more than that of petrol. But no agricultural implement works with that diesel. So tractors work with diesel. Machines or larger trucks which convey farmer produce also use diesel. As a result of this, probably I look at it that if you look at the component of the economy where we have to calculate inflation, food constitutes the greatest. So increase in costs of agricultural commodities means that cost of inputs will bring about cost of production, which will be translated into the cost of pricing of agricultural produce. So partly to blame for the rising inflation can be due to as a result of these increases in the prices of fuel, especially diesel.
We have an association, and we take into consideration the price of fuel and spare parts. The price of everything has gone up. We used to take 100 cedis for an acre, but we later decided we increase it to 150. Last week, we further agreed to increase it to 200 cedis. But as we talk, fuel prices keep going up. And yesterday we had a meeting that we should increase it to 250 cedis. It is not our fault, but the economic conditions are not good at all. We want government support.
Citi News went to the Bimbila Yam Market to interact with some of the buyers. Women who come all the way from the south to buy tell Citi News the cost of transportation is very exorbitant, causing the price to be high.
Yam is very expensive now, so we are unable to buy them. We are appealing to government to ensure a reduction in fuel prices for us to be able to transport the yam. This will ensure affordability by consumers.
You've heard it all from the farmers. Things are not easy for them now. They complain. Their complaint is as a result of the hike in fuel prices. The fuel price has affected everything. Even my brother here, who has come all the way from Tamale to help farmers raise young mouse. For Citi News, I am Mohammed Aminu M. Alabira.
Now, some homeless people have bemoaned the current economic challenges facing the country. In the following report, Citi News' Philip Nilate engaged some less privileged persons at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle in the Greater Accra region and has filed the following report.
The current economic situation in the country that has come as a result of the depreciation of the city, high cost of fuel prices, and also high cost of living, among other things in the country, has made things tougher for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Well, on the City Newsroom, I would engage the less privileged and people who stay on the streets and ask them how they are surviving during this period.
I have to beg to survive. My dream is to go to school. I am suffering.
I'm a street boy. Don't do any work. We don't have, because we don't of the economy, we do not get any work to do. So early in the morning, we just walk from Circle to Flaster House to collect. There's a church there, we go there to collect food every day to eat. From here to that Flaster House. So in the evening, maybe we go around, see maybe those who has a show when they close, maybe they have dustbin there, so maybe we searching maybe that we will get food to eat. We want the government to open more factories for us so that we can get work to do and stop walking on the streets.
So now if you are there, me too are the tire because of the situation. That's why we are there just now. How do you survive? Okay, only God they help. So maybe God could feel help somebody, they can help me small and I survive myself. I get children, four children. How do you look after them? I be this bag, you know how they take look them. Yeah, but this bag, you know how they look them that they all grow. Now my last born will be 19 years. If God they create, maybe somebody go see me. I will see me. If he's sympathy for me, then he can help me small. Then me to take that one, make my fishing. Maybe common fan self. I don't get some before. Common fan self we can't. If you go vet in this thing, I don't get some before. People, at the years people they get, but me like this, only God. I don't get some before. So I don't get time for any government and then. Only God we are the looker. With me here is Josephine Asma. She is the founder of Neighbor Connect, a non-governmental organization that looks to helping the individuals on the streets of Accra or the less privileged. Hello, madam. You are welcome to the City Newsroom.
Thank you very much. I will appeal to government to also support them with food. I remember during the COVID time, government made available some foodstuffs for the less privileged people. So I think that the government can do same. The people on the streets, the government can, I think, provide them a meal, if even once in a month or something. I think they will appreciate it. So the government should rethink about that strategy that he did during the COVID time and do the same, because honestly they are happy when they come and they realize there is food. They want to go and call more people to come in. It can be that since morning they haven't eaten, or even yesterday they had just one meal or they didn't. So if the government can do even just once a day for them, I think they can. And I believe that government being government, it has a broader length and they can get a lot of people to come in to support them. Let's say if Ministry of Gender want to take this thing up, I believe that a lot of people will come in to support them. Food vendors and other companies that can help in can come, because it's government, they will be able to get them on board to support them.
Private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu says Ghanaians must join the Koforidua reloaded demonstration slated for Saturday, November 5, 2022, to express their concerns about the economic hardship in the country.
We are gathering from 7 a.m., then by 9, we'll start marching. So I'm inviting every Ghanaian to come. I mean, every Ghanaian old enough to be able to and understand the cause we are advocating for should come. President Koforidua said that in 18 months, he will transform this economy from a Gadgetsburg one, to a modern industrialized one. 18 months, you can double check, right? And how come 6 years on, rather today, we have the worst performing currency in the world, unemployment is so high, cost of living has gone through the roof. We have a cost of living crisis. People are dying. You see the gentleman who died in Kasua, Galilee, committed suicide. Times are so hard. Look at the very famous examples. Kufuor gallon, the oil, from 500 Ghana, now it is 1,002. Cocoa from 1 cedi, now 3 cedis, right? The dollar at the beginning of the year was 1 cedi, $1 was 6 cedis, 40 pesos. Now, $1 is anywhere between 14 and 15 Ghana. We've sunk so low. What did you do to deserve this?
It's obvious that the less privileged and persons who stay on the streets have not been left out of the economic hardship. Well, they are hoping that benevolent persons and government will come to their aid during this trying moment. Reporting for Citi News from the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, my name is Philip Latte.
And I am Wilma Obobisa Coleman with Charles Owusu Kumi. Still to come in this bulletin, Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools describes as inadequate 72 million cedis funds released by government to senior high schools across the country. We'll bring you the details shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Ayami, if I say EGL Bazaar, say it be Bazaar. Electroland Ghana Limited is running a tech sale all-you-can-grab bazaar. Items are a mixture of brand new, slightly used, scratched, showroom display, repaired, and dented. Get up to 80% off. EGL Bazaar runs from Friday to Sunday. That is on the 4th, 5th, and 6th November from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. Location, Coca-Cola Roundabout, Spintex. Satisfy your tech hunger with products from Nasco, Samsung, Media, Toshiba, and more. Samsung television at 1,199 Ghana City. Grab a Nasco top-load washing machine 6 kg, 1,299 Ghana City. Media toaster 399 Ghana City. Grab for yourself smartphones, accessories, candlelights, washing machines, fridges, ovens, gas stoves, vacuum cleaner, dispenser. Quickly jot down the numbers. Call 0242 439 437. EGL, home of electronics and appliances.
1xBet. Easy betting, easy winnings. 1xBet, the most reliable service to make deposits easily with high odds and numerous bonuses on the spot. Register now at 1xBet.com.gh. Use promo code BESTODDSGH to get 300% bonus up to 3,445 Ghana cedis on your first deposit. Easy to use, easy to have a chance to win. 1xBet, reliable bookmaker. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, CHAS, says monies released to senior high schools are woefully inadequate. CHAS indicates that monies released only takes care of existing debts as against present needs. The government announced some weeks ago the release of 72 million cedis to senior high and TVET schools across the country to cover perishable food items and recurring expenditures. Speaking to Citi News, the national president of CHAS, Reverend Father Stephen Owusu-Sechere, said the debt situation remains the same.
We saw the release and we're not really happy about the release anyway, because the money that came in, for example, the recurrent that is quoted hugely. When you share that one among the schools, you realize that each school gets something little. Hope you understand. So ever since that release came in, our creditors also are chasing us because the picture is painted like money has been sent to the schools and that they should come for their money. It is not like that. If I get only 28,000 Ghana cedis for Form 3 students who had already completed school and gone, then you know what it means. I have to go and pay my creditors, and that money can pay nothing to them. So we are still where we are. Even though something has come, it is not enough to take that load of stress off our shoulders. So we are calling on our board of the ministry and the GES to expedite action on the processes to release more money to the school because we are suffocating.
Reverend Father Stephen Owusu-Sechere is the national president of the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools. Now, government has charged teacher unions to focus on fighting for welfare of teachers rather than deciding on who government appoints as head of the education service. This comes after the National Council of the Ghana National Association of Teachers gave government a November 4 deadline to revoke the appointment of Dr. Nkansa as Director General of the Ghana Education Service. The Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Education, Kwesi Kwarteng, tells Citi News the teacher unions have no say in who government appoints to fill a position.
For us as a ministry, this is our position. I think we've made it, and we have to make it clear once again, that at no point should such a president be encouraged, that it gets to a stage where unions have to determine who government appoints as its employer. You don't determine who you work. At no point should any union whatsoever decide who the president appoints into any office to manage affairs. Indeed, when they speak about Dr. Nkasan Okolefa, what is the basis that he is not a professional teacher? What is the standard of determining a professional teacher? Somebody who has taught in the secondary school for 6 years, who has taught in the university as a university lecturer for 8 years, cumulatively for 14 years, and having a background also in administration and finance, you are saying that such a person cannot manage an administrative office like the Director General of the GES. Indeed, GES office is not a classroom. It is an administrative office. And at a crucial time where you have cash flow challenges within government agencies, and more particularly within the pre-tertiary space, this is even the more crucial and the right time for you to have somebody with a bit of education and also a bit of finance background. If the argument is that you need to be only a teacher before, or a trained teacher before you can manage the administration of GES, then what happens also to the non-teaching staff who also are membership of the Ghana Education Service? So for me, such a logic do not lie. It's not sustainable, and it's so unfortunate that instead of teacher unions fighting for the welfare of their union members, addressing basic concerns of their union members, they now want to assume the position of appointing authority and determine who the president appoints.
Charles Kwesi Kwarteng is the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Education. Charles has more stories.
Workers of the Volta Aluminium Company, VALCO, are agitating over the continuous reduction in their salaries due to the depreciating rate of the Ghana cedi. The group says there are over $300 per month salaries, which are currently being paid in cedi equivalent, has not seen any upward adjustment since last year. The group attributes this to the continuous stay of over 28 retirees at the company, hence the need for management to let them go. Here is local chairman of the VALCO Workers Union, Edgar Tete, speaking to Citi News on their concerns.
We are agitated because we don't want the presence of the retirees here. They are overstretching our finances. Because of that, we are not being given our rightful wage. Okay, globally, there is no smelter that pays less than $1,000 because of the nature of the job. Here is the case, we are being paid less than $337, the equivalent in cedi. You understand? And we think it is not worth it. Why are we saying it is not worth it? Their allowances are even more than, their fuel allowances are more than what we are taking as salary. Right from school, they give you 115 gallons of fuel. That is petrol every month. The price of fuel now, and take 115 gallons. And it is graduated from 115 gallons to 125 gallons to 135 gallons to 145 gallons. For those up there, we don't know how much they are even taking. That is for fuel. And we think by so doing, they are not helping the job. Because the non-management workers are suffering. And they are the workers. They are working. They stay around temperatures around 1,400 degrees Celsius. Check it, and you know the kind of heat we are going through here. And we think they need to compensate us well enough to do this job. We are not asking for that much or extra money. What we are saying is that the $337 you were giving me last year, give me the same $337 in cedi equivalent this time around. But you see, because the dollar in the cedi is behaving some way, they find it too difficult to do that. Meanwhile, everything that we do here, we sell it in dollars. And everything that we buy it in dollars. Why don't you want to impoverish the poor workers? Why don't you give me my dollars? Look, if you are able to state that your cost of production is in dollars, so much dollars, then it means labor is part of that cost of production.
So which means that last year you were receiving dollars, but they've changed to cedis now. Is that the case?
Yes. We were doing that previously, and we had an HR who changed the whole thing. We did that 2010, 2012, 2014. From that, they're coming, then the man came in to say that not restoration. We call it restoration. That is indexing. Now the man is no more restoration by indexing, by salary adjustment.
So which means that now that you are taking the cities, it doesn't match up to the 3-3.
Thank you, Master. Thank you, boss. You've gotten it right. It doesn't match up at all.
Local chairman of the Valco Workers Union, Edgar Tete. Away from that, checks by Citi News indicate that the price of sachet and packaged water are yet to be increased in the Greater Accra region, despite a directive by its national body to increase price of the product. The National Association of Sachet and Packaged Water Producers announced an upward adjustment in price of the product beginning Monday, October 31, 2022, with sachet water to retail at 10 cedis per bag and 60 pesos per sachet. According to the association, the decision was necessitated by the increase in production. However, Citi News checks show the price adjustment is yet to take effect. Meanwhile, some customers are not enthused by the new price.
Your special ice mineral water, how much did you buy it?
60. They said that sachet is 60. From tomorrow is 8 cedi. Yeah. So I have to buy like 2 or 3 to put it down. Because I can't buy 8 cedi.
But then, I mean, the 2 or the 3 that you're buying, it means you will still buy later on. You still have to buy more.
No. I'll start boiling water to take. I don't have money. Yes. If I fetch water 50 pesos, I'll go and buy charcoal. 2 cedi, then I'll boil it. I think that is better than buying. Yeah.
But would you say that it's a major worry for you because now water is also going up? And how many times do you even take in water? Like sachet or
sachet water a day, sometimes 6 or 7 times. But now if I have to buy it, then I have to take 3 or 4 because I can't buy 6 or 7. Yeah. So I'll prefer boiling the water than buying it.
When you don't have 50 pesos or 60 pesos, you can't buy water. And then it's going to cause loss of lives. And then it's so bad. I drink bottled water. Now I take in sachet water because I can't afford the pure water, bottled water again. So it's very bad. It's either you guys reduce it or you guys are going to lose lives.
But so meaning that now you have now moved from your bottled water, you are now drinking the
sachet water. Yes.
Now there's going to 60 pesos. Are you thinking of reducing it? Because I'm sure you cannot drink more.
More, yes. Maybe a day I'll take 2 or something, which is very bad. It's not helping. And water is life. So we are supposed to drink much. At least 4 sachet or 5. It's okay, but taking a tie, we can't even afford 3 in a day because food hasn't come yet. So we are pleading, just reduce it for us because water is life. If we don't take water, we are just going to die.
You heard some consumers of sachet and packaged water lamenting the increases in price.
Now, President Koforidua has reiterated his commitment to the completion of all the 111 district and regional hospitals under the Agenda 111 project. Nana Koforidua says the hospitals which he promised 2 years ago are taking shape. Speaking at the opening of the 46th Annual General Meeting of the West African College of Physicians in Accra, President Koforidua said all the facilities will be ready before he hands over power in January 2025.
In the medium to long term, government's commitment to improving our healthcare delivery system is evident in the Agenda 111 initiative. This project will provide 101 standard 100-bed district hospitals with accommodation for doctors and nurses in districts without district hospitals. 6 new regional hospitals for each of the 6 new regions. Rehabilitate the Afia Nkwanta Hospital in the Western region. 1 new regional hospital for the Western region. And 3 psychiatric hospitals for each of the 3 zones of the country, i.e. the North, Middle, and Coastal. And the entire package at an estimated cost of $1.765 billion United States dollars. Such a development is to help make Ghana a center of medical excellence and a preferred destination for medical tourism in West Africa. It is my determination that the entire project will be completed before I leave office on 7th January 2025 and help bring quality healthcare near to the people in order to attain universal health coverage.
You heard President Koforidua, and that's it for Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio at number 11 Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. For more news, you can log on to our website, citynewsroom.com. I am Wilma Obobi-Sakoman, and this afternoon I was here with
Charles Osukumi.
Nashika Caesar brings us the afternoon's edition of the Citi Business News. Many thanks for your time this afternoon.
Citi 90